Well, good. Last school year, myself, along with the rest of my classmates, took a speech class with Mrs. Spicer. As many of us had never actually given an official speech before, this class was sure to be a challenge. We all wrote several speeches and had to give them in front of our classmates. One of the topics we had to write about near the end of the semester was a class commencement speech. Even though we were only juniors, we were supposed to imagine that we were chosen as the class speaker for our future graduation. In my introduction, I quoted the famous words of Andrew Bernard from the final episode of The Office. When all the friends from the Dunder Mifflin office building were saying their final goodbyes, Andy said this: "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." I remember being very proud of myself for incorporating a little humor into my speech while still maintaining a serious message. Now at that time, I referenced Andy's words because I thought it applied to high school pretty well. No one really likes high school, but once they've graduated, they look back and realize how good of a time they really had. Yeah, high school applies pretty well. But man, 2020 gave this quote a whole new meaning. I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. Who knew there would be a day when students complained about not being able to go to school? Who would have guessed that teenagers would jump at the offer of going for a walk just to get out of their house? We took our everyday normalities for granted, and when they were taken away for our own safety, all we could do was look back and appreciate everything we had before this pandemic. We all were forced to make some sacrifices through these past months, some much larger than others. Yet there is still so much to be thankful about. For one, this graduating class of Illinois Lutheran was able to have an actual graduation ceremony together, besides Max and Isaac, who had to scramble home to get to China. Luckily, we were able to surprise them in the parking lot when they got their diplomas earlier this month. This graduation ceremony today might be a little unusual, but many 2020 seniors weren't able to do this. Standing up here with this cool little Valedictorian medal, I have so many people to be thankful for. Every one of my teachers at this school has made an impact on my life, my priorities, my goals. Most of my teachers and classmates know that I can handle pretty high-level science and math, yet hardly understand the simplest literature and writing tasks. If I didn't have such amazing English teachers in high school, there's no way I'd be standing up here at this podium today. I thank all my friends in class that pushed me to try harder and do my best, even if they were struggling just as much as I was. I'm so incredibly thankful for my amazing family. They've been my source of encouragement through every challenge I've faced these past 4 years. Moving on to college next year will be very tough, knowing that I'll be living 8 hours away from my mom and dad, but I'm sure I'll manage through the use of Google Hangout video calls. 2020 has been a very difficult year, and the difficulties are far from passing. Through these unsteady times, I want to remind everyone of the beauty in the words of Psalm 23, the Shepherd Psalm. The first 4 verses go like this: "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Some pretty powerful words. This year has been stuffed full with darkness and fear. So class of 2020, as we leave high school behind and begin to live on our own, remember to put your complete trust in the Lord. His rod and his staff will guide you through the rough patches. In the good times and the bad, trust in him. Only God knows what tomorrow will bring. Congratulations, class of 2020. I wish you the best as you continue your walk with the Lord. Thank you.
Let's give them both a big hand.